Welcome to the fastest daf in town. Today we're Masech this Moed Katan daf Zion. We're going to begin on the very top of Zion Amud Aleph by the two dots. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Mistei Ilan Kedarko. When it comes to a stei Ilan, a orchard, a field with trees, then you could get rid of the mice as well as the moles in any normal fashion. However, stei halavan shelo kedarko. However, when it comes to a field of grain, so in that situation we are more strict, and you can only remove those critters in a not normal way. So Tanurban, Kate said kedarko. What is the normal way? So we saw in yesterday's daf how to be able to get rid of ants by taking earth from another area and dumping it on them. So what is the normal way? So choifer guma, you dig a hole, and you can hang or place a trap in it, and therefore by doing that, that's a way of catching your mole. So ketzah shlo kedarko. So what's not the normal way? So noit shvud, a person takes a spit, umake bekordum, and you whack it with like a hammer, and you crush the ground from underneath it, and by doing that, that's how these critters end up dying. Tanya, so we learned, I'll say the parentheses, when we said that when it comes to a field which is of grain, that you're able to get rid of these mice and the like in the not normal way, lo amru el b'stei lavan. That's only, as we said, it's a stei lavan, which is smuch l'ir. It's near a city. Let's say it's near an orchard where there's trees, then a field kedarko. So everyone will hold, because when it comes to stei ilan, Rabbi Yehuda says it could be done kedarko, but not a stei lavan. But if the stei lavan is near the stei ilan, then we're concerned that shem yetzim is stei lavan v'yachrivu es ilanais. That because it's in such close proximity to the trees, it may end up damaging the trees. Mekarin es ha pirza b'moed. So he said if there's a breach in a wall, you can repair it. So kates and mekarin. So exactly what are you allowed to do on chol moed? So Rabbi Yosef Omer b'chutz b'dafna. Chutz b'dafna. We hear this like 7 different times in the same daf in Masech the Sukkah, the second parak. That you can put like bamboo and the like. So you're doing like minor repairs, but it's not the way it normally would be. But masnisa tana sar b'tzror ve'enu tach batit. So basically, you can put a bunch of rocks, as Rashi maniach avanim zel gab zel, like almost like normal brickwork in a way, but you can't put like the cement in between them to hold it up. Amrav chista lo shanu. The only time that we said in our Mishnah that you ought to fix this up is el kaisel hagina. If we're talking about a wall of a garden, when it comes to that, there's not much a great level of hefsid of a kaisel chatzar, but we're talking about a courtyard's wall, baina kedarko. In that situation, you can build the normal way. Says Rashi deikap seidi yasera I ali baganani vegan ve'memoine. If you don't repair this wall, then crooks are going to come in and steal your stuff. So let's say this is support to what we just said. The kaisel hagoichel or shusarab. Let's say you have a wall that's slanting. Rashi says shoiche b'natoi. It's slanting or bent into the public rishus harabim. So saiser, you can demolish it. Ubayne kedarkim imnei sakana. You're allowed to take care of it because it's going to be dangerous. Says Rashi shlo tipol al hayich rishus harabim. So charetz araya. So no hasam can atayim taima imnei sakana. Maybe the only reason why it's allowed is dafka because of sakana. But if it wasn't a sakana, maybe we wouldn't allow it. Even if it was a hefsid. V'ika the amri, some say tashma kaisel goiche, bent wall, a slanted wall, shas ramim soisu b'nei kedarkim mnei sakana. Mnei sakana in shlom mnei sakana lo. Le'emet have to Rav Chisda. How could you Rav Chisda say that a kaisel chatzir you're allowed to build normally because of a hefsid? Hefsid's not enough. You need sakana. So Rav Chisda no hasam soiser b'ina. Over there you can demolish it and rebuild it. Hacha b'ina v'loy soiser. Here, you can just build it up. You can't knock it down. It says Rashi, it was already knocked down. You can't knock it down to rebuild it. So you can only knock it down to rebuild it. If it's bent, it's going to be a sakana. If there's no sakana, you can only fix it if it already had fallen down. But if it hadn't yet fallen down, you can't knock it down. So why don't we say over there in the makam sakana, knock it down, but just don't build it. So it won't be a sakana anymore. If you end up not allowing a person to build it, then they're going to not knock it down either, and they're going to end up being a sakana. It says you can build it. Now the hecha is it talking about in the courtyard sricha memra? Of course you should be able to. Love the gina. We're talking about in the garden. The mexi commandi ovid nitiruta leperi shmamina. Even though it looks like he's doing it to protect his fruits, nonetheless it is allowed. Okay, says Rashi, Ella begin of a shvias boina kedarka of a b'moed enu boina kedarka. That's only allowed to be done kedarka when it comes to a gina on shvias, but not b'moed. All right. Next Mishnah. Ramer oimer royines hanigoyim. Let's just first see if there's any questions on this. Question 3. Eza kaisel mutter livnois pirtsaso kedarka b'moed. So what type of wall are you able to fix up normally? So as we said, it's a kaisel chatzar boina kedarka. If it's kaisel chatzar, as we said, boina kedarka, it's beferis, as we just said. And then it says the eza kaisel mutter l'sasra yolachso livnoiso kedarka. What are you able to even knock down and then rebuild? And that is if it's a wall in which is going to collapse. Kaisel hagoya, or shosarabim soiser boina kedarko, then we're lenient and we allow that to be done. Okay, now let's see the next Mishnah. Ramer oimer royin esen agoyim batchila l'hokil l'hachmer. When it comes to saras, the question is, do we allow a kohen to go in over the Yomim Tovim or Chol Moed rather, to be able to inspect see if this person's tar tameh? So says Rashi, you can only do a hakel. Koimer roya koyin negas saras but moed latahir. You can go in and only say that it's tahar. However, l'hachmer, says Rashi, shim roya koyin shu tameh. If he sees that it's really tameh, enu oimer klum. He doesn't say anything. She'im tamoy. Unbelievable, because Rashi says if you do say it's tameh, nimsa mitzaro b'moed, you're causing him undue pain. So if you think the person is tar, tell him tar. If you think the person is tummy and don't say anything, then you just delay until after Chol Moed. Fine. So that's the shita of Rameir. No, we don't have him go in at all. We don't do any inspections. Tanya. Rameir oimer royines and goyim l'hachmer, which is what our Mishnah just said. Okay, that you can go and Kohen can only say that he's tahar. Rabbi Yossi Omer lo hakel v'lo hachmer. We don't allow him to do anything. Why? She'imata niskak lo hakel niskak afal hachmer. That if you're going to allow him to go, so it's pretty self-evident, by the way, that if you go and you say it's tahar, it's tahar. The guy says nothing, then obviously you know the guy's not tahar. So if we're allowing him to go to be able to say a psak of what is the status of this individual, then he would have to say tar or tameh, and therefore we don't want him to do anything. Amar Rabbi, near in Dibra Meir, I understand Rameir's shita that he allows the Kohen to go in to say his tahar, but musker. If we're talking about that this person is a musker, which means, as Rashi, shiroyin v'dibri Rav Yosef muchlat. Okay, so royin basically musker means that it's not yet clear or verified that he has saras. So since we don't know this person's status, so we can just remove him of any sfeika, any sfeikos, and he can just automatically become tahar. But however, if he's muchlat, if he's already in there, and therefore we need the Kohen to come in and to verify the status, we don't do anything. We just let him continue. Amarava betahar kolyamul pligidul chazule. So regarding someone who is tahar, everyone agrees the chazule, that we don't see him because all he can stand to lose is everything. He can become tameh. Otherwise, right now we just will assume that he's tahar, so we'll just wait. However, behesker rishon, when it comes to him, let's see, being inside. For the first time, but he wasn't actually verified as Tameh yet. In that situation, we will see him, says Rashi, Shima Tahirle, because if in this situation we don't know his status, because he's still he's considered to be musker, which means he's closed up, but it's not verified 100. He's not muchlet that he's Tameh. So by going there makes sense. Why? Says Rashi, She'ima tahirle mesamechle, because if you say you're tahar, so he's thrilled, he's not locked up anymore. However, ilo matahirle, if you're not matahir him, lo matamile yoiser miyakara, he's not really any worse than he was before. El maskele pam shnia, he just has to basically stay there anyway. So therefore, it makes sense that you should go and take care of him. So if you go and you say he's tahar, great. But if you are not matahir him, so he's going to stay there anyway. So all he can do is gain by you going there. So if he was tahar from before, right? So in that situation, because he was considered already tahar from before, there's no benefit in seeing him because he's already has this chazak, if you will, of being tahar. But if it's Hesker Rishon, then we will see him because it's possible that he really is tahar, and therefore it's good to go and to give him that examination. Key plea as we continue to design the base is the Hesker Sheni. What is Hesker Sheni? Says Rashi. So what is that? Matamile, if we are matamim him, machatle betuma, chamura umatsarle. So at that point, if we say he's tameh, he becomes a muchlat, and that's worse, apparently, than being a musker. So Mar Savar B'Koyin Tali Milsa. So once Rameir says that we allow him to go anyway, because it's all Tali in the Koyin. Itar Armule Tar. Vitame Shasik. If he's Tameh, don't say anything. Umar Savar no, L'Taharu L'Tamoksiv. Which basically means you don't have the ability to decide to say nothing. If you see that he's tummy, you have to speak up. And therefore, there's no, according to them, better not to speak up. Omer Mar. Omer Rab. Nirin Divi Rab Yossi b'muchlat. I understand, according to the sheet of Rab Yossi, if he's already muchlat, let him remain locked up, and that's it. The Divi Rab Meir b'musker. If he's musker, then let the Kohen go and let him say his tar so he can be sameach. I learned actually the opposite should be. So Tanoihi, Alibid Rabbi, Mar Savar Savata de Alma Adifle, Mar Savar Savata de Ishto Adifle. So what is this referring to? So Rashi says as follows. There's actually two problems when it comes to a person who has saras. One is that he is secluded from the world, and also he may be usher in tashma shemitah and having marital relations with his wife. So Rashi explains like this: Savasa di ishto adifale. Lahachi chazile b'moed. Why do we want him as a behesker sheni? Why do we want to see him? Di'imataro mesamcho will make him happy. Now v'afil matamale. Even if we make him tameh umachatle, and we say that he's tameh muchlat umishadule chutz l'gimel machanos, and therefore he's outside of all three machanos. The leisleit savata de inshi de alma, he's not able to interact with people. I feel hachi leisleit tsara, he won't be in such pain. Da isleit savata de ishto umuter hu be ishto lis yachid ima bebeis b'mechaluto. So his wife is allowed to go and seclude herself and be with him. So therefore, even though it's true, it's not great being a musker, but it's certainly not good being a muchlat. But at least once you become a muchlat, it's the benefit now is at least you're now mutter to your wife. Lamemra says the Gemara, the muchlat mutter b'tashma shemitah. Is that true? In fact, that is the case. That a person who is a muchlat is mutter to be with their wife. Vasanya, as the pasuk says, v'yoshem yichutz ahaloi shiva shamim, that you should go away for 7 days. Shehei asur b'tashma shemitah. He's not allowed to have relations with his wife during that time. Then ohalo el ishtay shenem relech emr lehem shuva lachem lo lechem, regarding the Kabbalah Satire, that's the pasuk says. So Rabbi Huda Imer Shiva Shamim Yispru Lo Yimei Sefiroi V'Lo Yimei Chalutoi. It's saying only the days of counting is Asur B'Tashma Shemitah, however, not the Yimei Chaluto. So the days of he's a Matzar Muchlat, he actually is Mutter B'Tashma Shemitah. And therefore, because of that, even if you make him into a Muchlat, so he's not going to have Tsar, because he'll be with his wife. Rabbi Yosef Yehuda Omer, Zayin Yimei Sefero Kabchaimer. If you're telling me that it's talking about there's an Isser of Tashma Shemitah during the days of counting, it's a Kabchaimer Limeit Chalutai. It should be a Kabchaimer that certainly Yimei Chaluto should also be Aser. Okay. Rabbi Danti Lifnei Rabbi, I learned in front of Rabbi, Lemadateinu Rabbeinu Yoisam Lo Hayulo Uziyahu El Bimei Chaluto. That Yosam was not to Uziyahu except during this time. Says Rashi, Kolor Melunis Abra Imo the Yosam. The mother did not get pregnant El Bimei Chaluto the Uziyahu. Only when Uziyahu he had Saras and he was locked up. The Uziyahu Haymatsara. Uziyahu, as Rashi says in the first wide line, had Saras. He was not allowed to be with his wife during the counting, but he was during the Mechaluto. So therefore, again, based on this little story, that's the din. That when it comes to Yimei Chaluto, a person is mutter b'tashma shemitah. Okay. So Omerlo Afani Kachamarti. This I also said. In other words, it is mutter. So Mamai Kamifli. Rabbi Yosef Yehuda Savar Gali Rachmana B'mei Sefero V'Koshkin B'mei Chaluto. According to one opinion, no. The fact that it's Aser in Tashmish during the days of counting, it's also Aser in the May of Chalutoi. Mar Savar, no. Madi Gali Gali, Madi Lo Gali, Lo Gali. The pasuk only speaks about Yemei Sefiroi, Dafka during those days, which is mashma nothing. You can't make a diak. That's what the pasuk says. You can't make a kavachomer. No, the pasuk is saying what it's saying, and therefore only Yemei Sefiro is an iser tash b'shemit, but not during Yemei Chalutoi. Well, Meimra, is that to say the b'koyin tali milsa? Is that really true? What we're saying that it's totally on the koyin. So if he wants to say it's tar. If it's tamei, you can just say nothing. In Basanya b'yoyim haroyis boy, the day in which the koyin sees it. So Yeshom Shiata Royabo, Yeshom Shiata Robo. There's times in which he sees, and then there's times he should not see. Mekan Amru Chassan Shenoyabo Nega. Let's say a Chassan, for example, has Saras, maybe, allegedly. Basically, we delay the examination of him. And therefore, it is totally on the Kayan. He doesn't have to go immediately and say that he's Tameh. Let him continue in his Yimei Simcha, and therefore only do it afterwards. Also, when it comes to the Regalim, why should we examine him then during Chol Moed, and he'll end up having Sar? So we'll examine afterwards. Rabbi Omer Eno Sarich. You don't even need this, because Hari Oim, the pasuk says V'siva HaKayin, that the Kayin commands V'fino Asabayas, and then he closes up the house. Now, im mamtinin loy l'davar rishus koshkin l'davar mitzvah. If we wait to have him close up the house, even before it's l'davar rishus, right? We say that, for example, if there's kalim in the house, so we're not going to be matam in the house until all the vessels are removed. So this way, it's able to prevent additional loss. So that's l'davar rishus. So koshkin l'davar mitzvah, when it has, for example, on a regel, or when it comes to the chassan, certainly we should allow to them to continue to be oisik in a mitzvah and not cause them tsar during these times. So my binayu, what's the difference? So Rabbi mashma is darshanika binayu. There's really no nafkim in between them. It's just how do you read the psukim. But Rabbi Omer devar harishus ika binayu. Actually, the machlokas would be devar harishus. Maybe you're only allowed to have a delay for a mitzvah, but maybe not for devar harishus. Says Rashi. Rabbi Yehuda the ma'apik the miyam heros boy. Mikan Amar Chastan Beregel the mitzvah, only for a mitzvah. Over the Varashus ein mamtinin loy betuma degufa. Maybe we will not wait when it comes to that. However, the other pasuk is coming to tell you that we'll wait even for the Varashus. Rabbi Yehuda Mahasam lo Gamrina the Chidushu. Rabbi Yehuda says we're not going to learn out from these psukim because it's a chiddush and ein lecha davar boy. You can only learn the chiddush itself, right? The thing itself. And therefore, you can't learn out and make a deduction from one to the next. So, after all, as we continue with Chesam and Aleph, when it comes to wood and stone, Rashi says, Pshuti kliyates. If it's flat, where it's not makabel toma. But over here, it is matame. So therefore, we see that these dinim are very different than what's normal, and therefore this whole din of tsaras, negat tsaras, is a chiddush. So therefore, you can't learn out and deduce one from the other. Okay. Ein Taisus. Rabbi Omer Itzrach. The ikos of Rachman Abiyam Hirais Bo Havamilo Devar Mitzvah in Devar Shuslo. You would think only for Devar Rishus, Devar Mitzvah you can push it off, but not for Devar Rishus, like to save the vessels. They don't not matam until then. It's because of Rachman of Tziva HaKayin that he waits. And because of Rachman of Tziva HaKayin Havamina Hani in Delav Tuma de Guve. Maybe it's only a situation where it's not a tuma on your body. Maybe it's only a tuma on the house, so he could wait. But a tuma, let's say on your body itself, the kohen must say the person's tummy right away. But a tuma de gufe, he has to see it and say sricha. There's sometimes he has to say, and sometimes he doesn't do. So my mashma, how do we see that that's the case? And sometimes he doesn't have to examine. So Rabbi, because im kein licht rachmana b'yoyim, ma u b'yoyim, shma mina yesh yom. That happens to be this day, u b'yoyim, which means yesh yom shiata roya boy, yesh yom shiata roya bo. It depends. So it's u b'yoyim. Rava omer kula kroy seru. Really, the whole pasuk is extra. The im kein licht rachmana b'leherois, ma u b'yoyim. Why does it have the word at all? Shma mina yesh yom shiata roya bo, yesh yom shiata roya bo. So why doesn't Rabbi just say that? So says that when it comes to the examinations, it can only be done during the daytime with natural light and not at night. How does he know it can't be done at night? It has to be in his eyesight. He has to be able to see it, which is not during the day. It's coming to exclude a kohen who's blind in one eye. It has to be Einei HaKohen, the eyes. And therefore, if he's blind in one eye, no. Doesn't he need that? So how does he know day and not night? So nafklei mikenega nearly babayis. I see a nega in this house, maybe. Leave oiri. It has to be me and not my light. Says Rashi, Shein sarach or haner dehainu b'yoyim. It means that it's so clear that it's to me and not due to my or, the candle that I have. Which means leave oiri, that it cannot be by candlelight at night, but it has to be natural daylight. Maybe that's only tuma which is not on the body. For whatever reason, we would maybe think that when it comes to the tuma that's on a person's body, even that is allowed. For that, you're allowed to use candlelight. Kamash one, that even when it comes to tuma on the guf, like saras on the body, not just on the house. Also, you cannot use candlelight. It has to be natural light. B'yoyim v'lo b'layla. Okay, let's stop here. Let's see a couple questions. Question 4. Mitzarim muchlat u'mitzarim b'mei safiro maho b'tashma shemitah. Okay, so we spent a decent amount of time talking about this, which is beferish. So the answer is, when it comes to b'mei safiro, it's definitely aser. However, during muchlat, actually, it is a machlokas. So again, if it's true, and we're saying that maybe this is the point, that we may not want to make him into a muchlat. And if we don't want to make him into a muchlat, so because he's going to end up losing out, he's going to be becoming usher to his wife. Alternatively, no, he'll be mutter to his wife, so you can examine him. Question 5. Minolan de'ein royin es negoyim el b'yoyim. How do we know that you can only see the negoyim during the day? So either because it says literally b'yom v'lo b'layla, or because we say nira li b'bayis li v'lo oiri. Okay, so those are the two pshatim. Either b'yom hayrois bay, or kenega nira li v'lo oiri. So this was question 5. Okay, so it's either kenega nira li b'bayis, or because it says uvayoim. So bayoim v'lo b'layla. TA 27. A Masay Matzera Aser B'Tashma Shemitah. So similar question. So Yemei Sefirai, everyone holds it's Aser. Also Yemei Heskiro, B'mei Chalutai, there it is a Machlokas. So that is question 27. Okay, which is really the same question we had before. This is TB 27. Okay, so by Yemei Chaluto is a Machlokas. Fine. TA 26. Ramer Omer Roinus and Goyim. You could check out the Saras. L'hakil avul l'hachmer. V'chacham omrim lo l'hakil l'hachmer matam machlok kaisem. What's the basis of this machlokas? So Ramer says the kohen talim nulsa. V'tamei shasik. You can just not say anything. Chamim svirle l'tar l'tamei de'in yachol lishkaik. You're not allowed to say nothing because you have an obligation to speak up. So that was TA 26. So again, which is on the top of Zion and Beis, that we said the machlok is behesker sheni, mar saber b'koyin tali milsa, itame shosik, or mar saber l'tar l'tam like siv, which basically you don't have really much choice. TA 27. Achad ichsev asiva koyin uponu asabayis, afil davar rishus. So even with Davar Rishus, so Lamli Kra of Yoim Harois Bo Yesh Yoim Shi'at Haraya. Why do you need this pasuk? Right? L'chayra, you can just learn that from a Kabbalah Chaimer. So he says like this. Question TA 27. Or because Omishum Dehacha Havi Toma de Gufo. Because we're talking about Toma on the body, maybe the din is different, that you have to tell them right away. Oh, the shani hasam the chidushu the eitzim v'avadim ba'alma u'matama, because it's a chiddush. This whole concept is a chiddush because pshiti klietz is not matama. Over here is matama. So therefore, because of that, you cannot make a kal v'chomer to tell you one thing from the next. Ad kan.